He always lays here. This is like his area. My bed is actually his bed, plot twist. Alright, hi guys, welcome back to the Adventures of Mandy and Major. I'm Mandy, this is Major over here, and today we're actually going to talk about the top 10 worst foods to give your dog. This goes for all dogs, and especially if you're thinking about getting a Shiba Inu, this is probably good advice for you and things to avoid in the house of feeding them. I want to start off by saying a lot of these are human type foods, and you shouldn't be giving your dog human food anyways. So that's already, do not give your dog human food that's bad for them. They shouldn't have any of it. But these are just a top 10 list of some of the worst. So we are going to get right into it. Are you ready, Major? Are you ready? He just cannot contain his excitement. All right, number 1, avocados. So avocados, as delicious as they are to us and possibly to some dogs, they do have a lot of dangerous factors to them if they're fed to dogs. So swelling is actually a factor, as well as cardiovascular problems. So if you don't know what cardiovascular means, that means cardio means, anything to do with the heart. So it can cause that as well as severe stomach irritation. So try to avoid that at all costs. I'm not sure the reason why, behind it, why it's dangerous, but that is the effects that they have gotten, and it will definitely cost you a veterinary trip. So try to avoid that as much as possible. Number 2. This famous one here, chocolate. Everybody basically knows don't give your dog chocolate, but nobody really knows why or what happens if you do. I want to start off by saying all chocolate is bad. However, dark chocolate is the worst out of all three, out of white, milk, and dark, to give your dog. So try to avoid dark chocolate at all costs. If you have chocolate, if you're a chocolate lover, put it up on the shelf so your dog can't get into it, because they love the taste of chocolate, but it definitely basically makes them die on the inside, literally. So what that usually does, it can cause severe vomiting, it will cause diarrhea, it can also cause abnormal heart problems as well, and it can even result in death. So you want to definitely make sure that's out of your animal's reach, and do not give them anything that has dark chocolate, regular chocolate at all. Another thing, so citrus, oranges, anything, fruit in general is actually not that good for dogs. In small doses, it's okay, but it'll just cause some minor stomach upset, but you don't want to give them stomach upset anyway, so just don't give it to them. So things such as oranges, anything really, really citrusy contains a lot of citrus acid that they are actually not able to digest like us. So fruit is not good for dogs like it is good for us. Oranges are great for us. It's great for us for vitamin C and all other nutrients, but it's bad for dogs because they cannot digest that citrus acid. So it basically causes them to have really, really bad tummy aches and a lot of irritation. It can also cause, when they're vomiting, it can cause irritation within the throat area as well. And if they eat enough of it and they get into it and it's just really, really, for some reason they get into it and they eat a lot of it, it can actually cause damage within the throat because there's too much acid going on between the stomach acid and the stuff within the fruit. So definitely avoid oranges, avoid any type of citrus foods. Next thing, raisins. So if your dog eats a bunch of raisins, take them to the vet. This results in death. Literally, nothing else. You'll be able to tell within the first 12 hours if your dog got into raisins or ate, a bunch of raisins. It literally causes kidney failure. They don't know, at least from so far what I've known, it's still unknown why kidney failure occurs, why raisin, what chemical, what is going on inside the raisin itself to make it happen. It's the same with grapes. Grapes also causes kidney failure. It's on the same list of raisins, so they're extremely toxic. They're highly dangerous for dogs to digest. Luckily, I hate raisins, and so Major will never be experienced, that type of stuff. So that's also a thing. I always forget what number we're on. Avocados, chocolate, citrus acid, raisins, nuts. I'm sorry, I laughed at that. Number 5, so any type of nuts are bad for dogs, but macadamia nuts especially are horrible for dogs. Again, what does this result in? Death. basically death, especially if they ingest enough of it. And again, it causes stomach irritation, but it also causes seizures, it causes like malnourishment, it causes a lot of different problems, like a lot of problems that I can't even name. There also are some coat issues that are involved with macadamia nuts. They just, basically why, they just cannot digest it. There's certain parts when the stomach goes to break down that they cannot digest. So it's kind of just stuck there, and it causes a lot of different intestinal issues. It can even cause the stomach to just basically, not literally explode. I know if I say explode, you guys are going to be like, it doesn't literally explode. Not literally, but it basically, one of the worst things, it's actually like, I think one of the top 3 things that's like the worst thing to give to your dog. So avoid macadamia nuts. All nuts as much as possible. They're bad for dogs. You know, pecans, bad for dogs. Almonds, bad for dogs. I know there's been some kind of rumors going around that it's like good for dogs. I've heard that before, and I'm like, it's literally horrible. It's like, it's the equivalent of giving your dog a bunch of dark chocolate. That's basically the equivalent. So avoid that as well. Number 6, dairy. So dairy products are actually not that good for dogs. They're not going to necessarily kill your dog. However, it can give a lot of tummy upset, and your dog will definitely, if you give them some milk or if you give them like yogurt, all of that, it can, unless you give, depending, there are certain things, certain types of dog foods, and there's certain types of things that you can give your dog dairy-wise, but just if you are, you know, eating on a thing of strawberry, banana flavored yogurt, you know, don't just give spoonfuls to your dog, because it actually does hurt their tummy. It just causes, you know, it causes stomach upset, stomach irritation. Typically, they will probably have some diarrhea, so just try to avoid that, because then you will have to eventually, if you keep giving it to them, go to the vet, because they're going to have a lot of tummy problems, and they can't keep having diarrhea, and so you want to try to avoid that as much as possible. Number 7, I think. Number 7, onions. So onions, I feel like onions just shouldn't be digested by animals or humans, because they're just freaking gross. So why even bother? Again, Major will never have to experience that because onions are not allowed in this house. So, but onions are actually very bad for dogs as well. They can cause actually red blood cell damage. So that's a big problem. For those of you who don't know what that means, it means bad. Just bad. So red blood cell damage is one of the main causes if you give your dog a lot of onions, or if they eat, like, if you give them a piece of the burger and they have onions in it, that can be, like, cause some minor issues as well. It can also cause some stomach irritation, some gastrointestinal upset. So make sure you avoid onions as well. Number 8. Why does my finger, why does it do that? It needs to be straight. Oh my God, it's like, Number 8, so raw meat. A lot of people think when giving raw meat for animals, for dogs specifically, that it's good for them. And in certain cases, in some animals, it is healthy for them to consume raw meat. And it's not the worst thing in the world to give your dog raw meat. However, things such as E. coli, salmonella, dogs can actually get that. They can get those, and that's very common. So definitely try to cook the meat. I don't know exactly the healthiest way to go about that, so I would do some research. I don't know if there's a healthier way to, like, you know, how to cook it. So don't ask me for that, because I don't know. But definitely just remember, if you are giving your dog raw meat, can you stop licking my bed? I really don't want you to do that. Don't sigh at me. Did it again. So raw meat, yeah, they can actually get E. coli and they can get salmonella, which is actually a little fun fact, because a lot of people don't realize that, and they just give their dog a bunch of raw meat for their diet, and they think that they're good, you know, everything, and they're fine, and that's not the case. So it can also, again, it can cause some minor stomach upset. And if your dog does get salmonella or E. coli, that you'll definitely be able to tell within the first 12 hours of them getting that. I think it's, actually, I don't know if it's within the first 12 hours. I read that, but that could be false. So don't Don't quote me on that, but you will be able to tell the signs. Again, a vet trip always, if your dog is experiencing any vomiting, any severe diarrhea, any type of like weird activity going on, especially if it involves the stomach, go to the vet as soon as possible. Let's see, number 9. If it's not number 9, it's going to be number 9 now. Number 9, raw eggs. So cooked eggs, I don't know too much if it's extremely healthy or not. I've heard that cooked eggs are good for dogs. I give Major cooked eggs. I give him scrambled eggs. I don't put any cheese in it. I don't put any, like, I don't make it with butter if I'm going to give it to him, or any, like, certain things. I don't put salt and pepper. I don't put any sort of seasoning or anything with it. All I do is just make 2 eggs, and I scramble them up, and I give them to Major. I make sure the pot's clean. I don't put any of that stick stuff on it. I don't put any of it. And cooked eggs are actually good for their coat. But raw eggs do the exact opposite, and they make their coat even worse, and they cause a lot of problems within their coat, and they can also cause a lot of stomach issues. Again, they can cause a lot of really big cramps for the stomach, and just a lot of, it can actually back up the stomach. It can cause constipation within the dog as well. So always avoid giving them raw eggs. If you want to give your dog eggs, make sure that they are fully cooked and they don't have any like thing added, like salt and pepper, seasoning, butter, you know, anything that you mix in. Just make sure they're plain. And you'll get, they'll love them. They'll love you for it as well. And I don't know if it's just Shibas, all Shibas, but Major loves eggs. So once in a while, I'll get up and I'll make him breakfast. So, all right, number 10. So number 10. Exlitol, I don't know how you pronounce it. Basically, this big chemical X, like the Powerpuff Girls. This chemical is found in a few different things. It's a chemical found in gum, it's a chemical found in toothpaste, and it's a chemical found in baked goods. So basically, all of it has this certain chemical that's extremely bad for dogs. Again, the result, death. Your dog can die from this. It's highly dangerous. If your dog is the type of dog that gets into a lot of things, maybe they get into like your toilet paper, stuff in the bathroom. If they ever get into like your toothpaste and they eat your toothpaste, take them to the vet immediately, because they are not able to digest that. They can also get things, they can get seizures because of it. They can also get liver failure because of it. They can even turn hypoglycemic because of some of the chemicals within it, especially with baked goods, because there's so much sugar, and dogs are not supposed to have that much sugar. And for the sugar that they do get, it's not supposed to be from cupcakes or chocolate cake or stuff like that. So they can actually get a lot of serious problems, and they can become hypoglycemic, and they can actually, if they have enough of this chemical, it can cause their body to basically shut down. Another thing too with gum, they can't digest that. So they literally cannot digest some of it, which is really, really, really bad. So if your dog ever gets into gum, gets into like baked goods that you have, maybe you had like you're baking something and your dog got into the chocolate cake, or your dog got into, ate a bunch of it, or if they get into toothpaste, I know like especially puppies, they love to get into stuff, and basically I almost feel like you have to child lock like half of your stuff sometimes with some of these puppies and some of the things that I've seen. So immediately like take them to the vet. So that's definitely one of those big things. So that was basically all I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please make sure you let me know. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of Major videos. We're going to be posting crazy videos of Major, especially every Wednesday, because it's Wednesday, my dudes. So definitely thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, Major, come here. Come here. Come here. You were super like affectionate to me yesterday, and now you want like nothing to do with me. Come here. How to train your Shiba? You don't. But basically, we hope you guys have... Are you literally falling over? we make you... I can't speak. Have a majorly good day, okay? That's all.